understanding the real, and I've always put the real in quotes and caps, and I can want people to, the real truth is so pivotally important. And all your understanding and all you're getting right, get an understanding. Yeah. So when you're learning to understand the real truth, then you're not dealing with things that are based in the lie or in untruths. So as a parent, for example, if your child is acting out, sometimes as a parent, you may think, oh my goodness, they're so disrespectful. Or they don't appreciate anything I do for them, or I do all these things for them and they don't care, they don't do anything, So we go into these areas that are not based in truth. Now, truth is most human beings, no, not most, all human beings desire from birth to connect with other people. Exactly. Okay. So if someone, especially your own child, is doing something to cause a disconnect, is doing something to cause upset or frustration in their environment, that people want peace in their environments. You will rarely run into an individual that's saying, you ask them, okay, what would you like in your life? What would you like in your home? And you rarely run into the individual that says, oh, I love chaos and carefulness.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Right? Usually they say, I just want peace and, I don't want to fight and, all these things.
Oh, yes, over and over again.
And even if someone did say that, they're working against themselves. They're not telling the truth, because then they're crying the next day because they don't have those things, right? But what you do is you start to work on, okay, what is the real truth in this situation? Okay, this kid is having a hard time for some reason. What could it possibly be? Some of my favorites to give parents so that they have something to hold on to is I have an acronym that I use now that, that I won't get into that one because it's a little bit more complex, but I want to get into the easier one that you can more easily find right online. So you can look it up later when we're not on this, But, we have the HALT that comes from the 12-step programs. It's a self check-in, but it's also a check-in that I found is important for you to use for others as well. So and HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Am I, if you feel yourself extra upset, am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? If your child is acting out and it doesn't seem to make sense, are they hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Did they get enough rest last night? Okay. Right. Did they have their snack or lunch or breakfast? Right. Lonely for kids, oftentimes it kind of equates to bored. So if you hear them saying they're bored, you'll find they're a little extra irritable as well. Or did something happen at school or at work that made them angry? Right? Was there something that kind of they carried along with them? Yeah. If you have a kid with sensory issues, if they're extremely sensitive, something that I love to point out to parents is that if they're extremely sensitive and maybe they're sensitive to say like sounds or taste, any of those strong sensory reactions, sometimes our kids will become disrupted. We will become disrupted by having a violation happen of that in the sensory form. So a loud sound, they jump, right? And maybe when they're younger, they may have a crying fit, right? Because of this startle. But as they get older, they've been taught not to have that kind of response. You're not a big baby, you can not, right? But this may actually startle them. They may hold that. This will insert that negative energy ball I like to talk about, negative energy into them. They will have no idea where all of the upset is coming from later on as they're acting out. And it could have been something that happened earlier in the day to trigger them in that way.